Another specific issue that's come up and that is also obviously very important to libertarians is the Second Amendment. Governor Weld, if you'd like to take a shot at that, you're a question I'm sure you've answered thousands of times in your career.
Well, I think about it all the time. As I mentioned in my bio portion, as a lifelong hunter and gun owner, I think I shot my first duck on the Canadian Flyway at age 10. I had a little 410. I'm not sure that was entirely lawful, but it was lots of fun. We went out on the marshes, and so I grew up on saltwater and freshwater duck and goose hunting, and later graduated to larger stuff up in northern New Hampshire, including when I was governor. I actually got in trouble for it. Needless to say, the Boston Globe is not a big fan of hunting at all. And I never found a reporter who knew the difference between a rifle and a shotgun, incidentally. So an issue that's come up, and legitimately so, is that in 1993, after I've been in office for a few years, and I did a lot of stuff with the outdoors folks. I opened all public lands to hunting. They have been closed to hunting under Governor Dukakis. My first official act as governor was to take down the signs that Governor Dukakis had put at the borders of the state where the highways come in, saying, tough new Massachusetts gun law, one year in jail or 1 year in prison. So I had those taken down, and they were prized items among my political supporters, and the ones that were most prized were the ones that had 10 or more rifle bullets into them. Of course, I had one with about 25 rifle bullets into it that I took for myself and put in my garden back in my house. But in '93, I guess there had been a spate of bad shootings with big, ugly weapons, and I signed on to a legislative package of what I thought was, somewhat moderate restrictions on the very biggest kinds of weapons. Street sweepers, lots and lots of shells, fully automatic, not a 5-shot semi-automatic that you could, take goose hunting out on the moors. But I did do it. It didn't go down well among my friends in the gun community. I'm not sure I would do the same thing today. And we've had atrocious events since then. Sandy Hook in Connecticut. But, the answer to the question, who kills people, is it guns who kill people or people who kill people? The answer is it is people who kill people. And the answer to the ultimate question is, do restrictions on individuals' rights to bear firearms make us safer as a country? No, they make us less safe. And just look at the history of not only Switzerland, but countries around Europe and around the world. When the government takes citizens' weapons away from them, history is replete with instances where that people became less free in a big hurry, and that's no accident. So that's my
what I would like to say regarding what Bill Weld has just said is I'd like everybody to have heard what he just said, which is, and he said this in his letter, for those of you that didn't read it, but basically in office, you face decisions that are tough decisions. And as Bill said in his letter, he had to make quite a few of them. I will echo that. It's one thing to talk about philosophy, and then it's another thing to actually have these decisions sitting in front of you. And I don't know. This is me. I'd rather have Bill Weld in office than not have him in office. And moving forward, we all make mistakes, and I don't want to characterize what Bill Weld has said as that he made a mistake. But clearly, he has a different view of it today than when he was in office. And I'd like you to all weigh that, weigh this issue with everything else, and hear what he is saying. That moving forward, this is not a Bob Barr situation. This is, I didn't vote Libertarian. Bob Barr became the nominee. Debated Bob Barr in Philadelphia at the Republican National Convention because this guy was the number one drug warrior in the country. I hope you don't take Bill Weld's stand regarding what he did on the same level as Bob Barr, who was just antithetical to everything it is that I think libertarians believe. And again, this ends up to be all of your choices, and this is why we're having this call. I will say that as governor of New Mexico, I did get to sign concealed carry in New Mexico, something that in 1995 was really cutting edge. And the way that the legislature was going to pass concealed carry legislation was that if it came with a whole lot of education to go along with being able to concealed carry. Well, after this incident in the movie theater in Denver, for myself personally, I vowed that I was going to get my concealed carry permit, and I go to get my concealed carry permit, and who on earth passed legislation or signed off on concealed carry legislation that now I'm required to have 7.5 hours of education to go along with this concealed carry permit? Well, I did. And I have yet my concealed carry permit because of what I signed into legislation, the fact that I made it difficult to accomplish the concealed carry. If I had it all over to do again, I would still do the same thing because they wouldn't have passed it, but it certainly wasn't ideal, and that comes with the difference between philosophy and actually being in a position of governing and having to make choices that never seem to come out exactly right. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you both. I think that's very helpful.